his pistol as CTs. So Immortals will just have that slight advantage with the map cache.
Yeah, as if they needed another one, but they will get the CT side of things. And I do fear for NRG, but hopefully they can pull this one out of the bag. We did see a similar situation this morning in the Euro games, where one of the teams got blown out and then came back in the second map to be competitive. Not to say that they won the second map, but they were competitive. And really, we saw it yesterday with the Cloud9 match as well.
Yeah, it's one of those instances too where you really need to distance yourself mentally. And as you said in yesterday's conversation about it, it's easier to distance yourself from a massive blowout first up.
It is. It's much harder to get a 16-14 loss off your mind that could have come down to one round or another, but when you get blown out like they did, it's easy to say, look, we didn't play well. Let's get our game on here as Immortals take control of that A main area, and they've actually got a lot of information here, have Immortals, and they're going to rotate towards that B area. Or they think that they will pretty shortly. Yeah, there's a couple of players moving. Lucas here will throw a nice looking flash and fire down upon the squadron of terrorists in front of him, but he'll get isolated here, and Lucas goes down, and Tabson takes down Zeus through the smoke. 6 shot there, and just like that, NRG look like they're in position to win this one, but the first kill goes the way of Bolt on the retake. Elijah gets a good looking shot there onto Fels. And Watts by the shouting here. Peter doing the damage. Bolt's Henny go down, and NRG start with a bright spark, and they get the job done on the piss around.
Tabson, no worries through that smoke, but you could see that they actually tried to running boost that at Tabson over the pick line, so that was, it didn't actually work out, but I must admit I do like the willingness to do something a little bit different from NRG.
Oh, that grenade's going to hit Henny just above the head and do a big chunk of damage, 55 in 1, and that's going to force him away from that white box at mid. Zeus just peeking around the corner there with his teammate, wondering if the attack will come to be, but it looks as though NRG are pretty content on this mid control, and they're going to fight their way into A after they do so.
You can tell they're just being very, very slow and methodical after taking a lot of territory. Mid is the key on this map, particularly if the CTs are quite content to give it to them. Obviously, Immortals don't have the utility or the weaponry to contest it, but that is going to help. Phelps picking up Peter there in A main, but now it's action time here at B.
Yeah, and that's a good smoke there. What a shot from Lucas, but the smoke from Zeus will just prevent the terrorists from getting in there straight away. Zeus takes down the second player there, and he'll spray through the smoke with an AK, doing a lot of damage, and this is just capitulation in its highest order for NRG. Not sure exactly what on earth they were trying to do there, other than obviously take the B site, but just lackluster performance.
Lucas, what a beast. He's just ripped their head clean off with that Desert Eagle, and that set things up for the round. That smoke made it really difficult. I'm not too sure why they opted to push through the smoke into the bomb site, but that didn't bode well. They surrendered that AK straight away, and that round just went pear-shaped for Energy so quickly. Isn't funny, but now you can see that it's NRG that are forced to buy the pistols here, and they've already lost Leisure, so the man advantage is with Immortals, and they are contesting. In mid, Henny is just not backing down until now. He has that AK, and he's determined to try and get a frag before he's forced to fall.
Yeah, and the confusing part about last round for me is NRG just didn't use flashes to get into the bomb site. They were pretty content with just trying to run in there through the smoke and get it done, but Henny there fighting well, getting a couple before he goes down that bolt. Will finish up the cleanup crew. 2-1 in the way of Immortals here, and they'll continue on their merry way through this one and force NRG onto another eco gym. I thought they were going to buy for just a second with some pistols and armor, but they've elected just a couple of P250s.
Yeah, Gobby team is far more disciplined than that, but you can see now he's got something in mind. He's got a smoke, and Peter's got that flash, so, I mean, they've got at least something planned there. It's heading towards this A main zone, but Phelps is going to push through that smoke, and he's going to do some damage with an SMG. You gets two, but he's taken down. You can see now that NRG have just been rattled a little bit, and they're not really going to have too much luck getting into this A bomb site at all. Bolts is standing at the gates, and he's denying them entry.
Yeah, great stuff there from NRG and from Immortals. Getting aggressive there, Phelps, with the flash push, and he picks up a couple. Unlucky not to get more there, as he lost control of his recall just a little bit, but he timed that one to perfection. Peter now picking up the AWP for his team. He's been great on that so far, but he needs to do a lot of heavy lifting here, obviously, because Henny also has that AWP in hand. Lucas sticking with the SMG. Save a bit of money. Immortals will be very confident after not only the last map, but the way they've started this one. Flash isn't going to fool Peter this time, and Fells goes down. Good start here for NRG.
Yeah, but they've inserted bolts into AMA, so Tabson actually takes him out completely, pushing that door. Window of opportunity has been seized, and now A is under a lot of pressure. You can see Henny is caught out in the open. NRG are making this work for themselves as they do make their way onto this A bomb site. And Zeus is the only one there providing resistance as Lucas goes down trying to rotate out of B. Fugly making a menace of himself. And now it's just Zeus in a fight for his life.
Yeah, great read there, though, from the terrorists circling him, so he won't be able to get away. Lovely shooting there from NRG as they make their way into the A bomb site. Immortals went for an aggressive pick there early on A main. Don't mind that. But after that, the first pick didn't go their way. They didn't fall back into the site. They continuously fought in that A main area, and it cost him in the end, as Henny was caught with his pants down in that AWP forklift, and then the round just went the way of NRG. So there will be another buy here from Immortals after winning an eco round. Another AWP onto Henny, which may not be expected actually from the terrorists. This could prove to be an X factor here for Henny, because I know that they'll think he can afford to.
This double door push coming out from Immortals. It catches Tabson out, and they've actually got Zeus up in the vent in mid, so any late mid control coming out from NRG is going to be hampered by his presence. As we now see NRG look to boost. I do believe it's Peter up on that AWP boost, and he goes down. So Immortals are just picking apart NRG. They have no map control whatsoever in this round, and they have just been punished for that lack of presence, as now we do see Gobby and Fugly do get to hedge their bets towards that B bomb side. It is going to be a 2-on-2, and that's where they stand their best chance.
Certainly do, but I don't like their chances here at all. As Lucas will get the first, and that will become almost impossible here for Fugly. In fact, it does, and it will go 4-2 the way of Immortals. Just great picks there from the AWP Henny, as well as the door push. Last round was A main, this round was door. The importance for Immortals there is they're going as a team regardless. When they're pushing, it's together, and they'll win or lose the round based on what happens.
Well, not only that too, and they're really unsettling, NRG. They can't find any rhythm at all, because this unpredictable aggression from Immortals is really causing them just to force and hold back. You can see they're setting up over towards this A bomb site here for and execute. Those smokes will go down, and this is almost telegraphing a hit for Immortals, and they're going to be expecting something once they see these smokes go down.
Yeah, Fels, you're in a really interesting position. If that smoke fails now, he's in a world of pain, but he's backing that it doesn't. The pop flash comes out, and he's now going to take control of this round pretty easily. He gets one, he gets two, he sprays down. Can he get the third? He does, and he probably gets the fourth as well.
Wow.
So, little goblin spot there against the left-hand door, serving him well. And Immortals pick up their 5th round.
He was just too fast there on the trigger, and they really didn't have time to turn around and trade him at all. And you can see now there is a pause coming out. I'm curious to see actually whether or not this is a tactical pause.
I think it is. I think it is a NRG tactical pause, because this is the same sort of situation. Gobby took one in last time, and it was exactly on an eco as well. So tendencies all the same. It was roughly the same point in the match with roughly the same value of equipment.
The difference is, though, I guess on the T side, you don't have the pressure that the CTs do, because the T side can dictate the pace. So if there's a tactical timeout on the T side in the early stages here, it's usually done by delaying your exit from spawn, not generally using your match pause available to you. So that lends me to believe that it may actually be a technical. We haven't received word either way, whether this is a tactical or a technical pause. But if it is tactical, I'm curious to see the reason for it, because it could have simply been a tactical pause used by just delaying your exit from spawn as T's and just talking out your issue.
Yeah, I agree. So it'll be interesting once we find out what the issue is.
But I'm curious to get your opinion on this, Pete. NRG, they're not really having too much success at all. What do they need to change here? Or are they even capable of changing something at this point? Are Immortals just far too clinical?
I think it's probably the latter, but as if I was to put myself in the shoes of NRG, I obviously wouldn't think that. So from our position here, it certainly looks that way. But if I was on the NRG squad, I'd be saying to myself, look, let's just see if we can work out how to get a kill and then work our way backwards from there. So what the common, I guess, tendencies of Immortals have been so far is A, pressure. So they've got either 2 pushing A main or 2 pushing door, or the aggressive B push. So I'd probably set up for one of those and try and capitalize on the 2-man push. See if I can shut that down with a 3-man stack. Probably towards door. And then if it didn't work out late in the round, move back towards the middle. So for NRG, the secret of Cache always lies in the mid control. And you have to get it at some point as terrorists. If you get it at the start, that's great. You can flash over, boost, push up, and Molotov the CTs away, but at the end of the day, if you have to do it late, you still can. You can Molotov out that then. You can pop flash over mid. You can smoke mid-con later on in the round to regain that mid-control if you've lost it, or if you just want to avoid taking it early. Either way, it looks as though the NRG guys are going to wait for that Molotov to expire before they boost up, but the player under the boost there, Fell's going to hear all about this and prepare himself for at least, oh no, it's a counter boost here, and this is going to be pretty dirty, and Fells gets one, but immediately taken down. Does a lot of damage to Fugly though, and now Bolts is sitting in that smoke in A, will do a lot of damage as well. He gets another one, flicks around, he should be able to take care of business there on Fugly. He does, and then swings around for the 3rd kill potentially as well. Great round there by Bolts, but Jim, I guess the question that you asked before about what I would do, pretty much get in the grills of Immortals and play their own game. Because right now, Immortals are dictating all the pace, even a CT.
They are. And that was a cheeky 4 kill by the forklift. But, yeah, they are. They're dictating the entire pace, and that was a technical pause. I was going to say, it baffled me as to why that would have been a tactical, but yeah, it was a technical pause. So, look, either way, now Peter taking control of mid here. This is what we wanted to see from NRG. A little bit more of a focus on that middle there, and Peter is stepping up for them already, taking down the first 2. But we've seen them lose it from here. So, look, it doesn't secure them victory just yet. There's a lot more work to be done for NRG if they're going to convert these early frags into another round win. Zeus there already whittling away that man advantage down to a 3 versus 4.
Yeah, so many times on Overpass we saw NRG go up at 1, even 2 entry kills, and then slowly but surely whittle those frags down. And Zeus is on the prowl here. He might pick up a second one. So once again, the same sort of thing is unfolding here. 5 versus 3 becomes 3 versus 3. And really, both of those players just wandered out with no real direction.
And the coach getting it done.
Great stuff there from Zeus. And now we concentrate more towards the A bomb side here for Immortals. Tabson going out mid here, but this will be a B pincer. Should be a B pincer here for the terrorist, and it will be all on the shoulders of Zeus. He's already got 2 kills. He needs a couple more here, and he realizes the jig isn't going to be A right now as the smoke goes underneath him. All on Zeus here.
He's going to let them into the bomb site, not contesting just yet, but he has the information. He'll be able to take down Globby. No, he's not able to get that frag, so that could be very, very costly for them here. It's now down to a 2 versus 3. That bomb has gone down. Pressure here on Bolts and Lucas as they try and make this work for themselves. The pop flash is going to come in, and they're going to be sprung into action as we do see Globby flatten Bolts there at heaven. And now all to do for Lucas, 3 versus 1. He's just looking to see whether or not anyone gets too adventurous. Peeking out there, taking an individual aim fight. Now he does go down to Tabson. So well worked from NRG there in the 3 versus 3. Great work though from Zeus to bring it back down to a 3 versus 3. He wasn't able to do the D there in the end. And unfortunately surrendered himself. And NRG get themselves a 3rd round. So Immortals, this is an interesting round panning out here because it's going to put them in a tough position if they do lose it. They're going to have enough money to potentially buy, but it's going to be a shabby one if they do choose to.
Yeah, rough round there for Zeus. He did such good work and then ultimately let himself down there. It isn't the easiest shot of the round that he had. Had that frag gone his way, completely different round unfolds because Godby ends up getting an extra kill there. So really interesting stuff from Zeus, but he's not able to make it work. At the end of the day, though, Immortals are still 6-3 up and on the bye round, and they're going to patiently wait now. And they've actually stopped they've stopped the aggression here, which is good. NRG have put enough pressure now back onto Immortals to get a bit of respect back from their counterparts. And Immortals settling into a pretty default CT side here. 2 players on A in the form of Fells and Bolts, trying to patrol the area, but the terrorists really not forthcoming at A just yet, or anywhere for that matter. Now they'll start to finally get themselves into gear and work out where they want to go. It should be an A execution here, but no, they've decided to switch tack, go towards that vent. It will be a B hit.
Not a lot Lucas could do from that position there. He is rained on as the T's just pour into the speed bomb site. Zeus goes down, and they have control here. Pushing through, though, Tabson. He's so keen for frags. He does pick up Henny, and Bolts and Phelps are going to have to try and combine here to at least silence Tabson, as he does do a lot of damage there to Bolts, but he does eventually get bowled out. Middle stump, and they're going to try and save their weaponry and flee this bomb site. You can see, though, NRG are positioned well to get the frags as Bolts goes down, and now it's going to be tough for Phelps to save this cult. And as I say that, he is taken out as well. So great work from NRG in that instance. They're able to just crush the economy somewhat. As I said, if they did lose that round, it was going to put them in a tough position because they had power to buy, they had money, but it's going to be a shabby one at best, and you can see that they're now forced to just upgrade their pistols.
Yeah, great round from Immortals. Absolutely smashing there, right up until they let it slip away. So Immortals there, able to really string a few rounds together recently, but they had such a strong showing on Overpass. I think we all expected a little bit more of a one-way affair here on Cache, but NRG have really come to play, which is a great sign for them. They're fighting hard, and we expect nothing less from a Godby-led side. Leisure there, picking up another kill on Henny. Lucas trading, though. So 3 versus 3, and this was all the way of Immortals on the first map. This is time to see if they can win any of those 3 versus 3. The answer is no. Immortals there, putting the squeeze on and winning that round in easy fashion. And it was an eco round with no armor. So yeah, Immortals putting NRG on notice. That
was strange because you could see the B main push coming out, and that put Fugly under a lot of pressure, and he just opted to try and pick there. He didn't need to fight. He had the information, and as they rushed that A bomb site, Bolts was able to just shoot them all in the back. So yeah, interesting. And they were picked apart because they didn't use any of the utility they had NRG. So they'll be disappointed with the way that they actually conceded that round. But Legia picks up Henny through the smoke, so a decent start here for NRG.
I don't know exactly what he was shooting at there, but he's hit the target nonetheless, and Henny goes down. Big cog in the wheel there for Immortals, goes down early in the round, so that may benefit NRG. Their in-game leader goes to the wayside. Godby will get boosted up here and try and pick out mid himself to see exactly what is going on. He'll drop down as well, so probably another one of these B pincers coming in here from NRG.
That was interesting for me because Henny, look how far forward he was. He had an AWP in his hands. I'm not too sure what his overall intent was because unless he was planning on using it as a shotgun, I don't see why. But you can see Phelps, though, got himself into the A main position here. Will be traded out, though. So he gets one, but unfortunately it's not going to be good enough now as we see Lucas rotating out that site. Fugly tries to catch him, but he's just sitting in that bomb site. Now the information's come back through, and you can see that rotation has come from the CTs. They're going to hit this B bomb site.
Yeah, it's all going to be on Lucas, but he's on 19 HP, and 2 of his teammates are very, very far away. But he has let them know he's under pressure now. Lucas here will have to step wide around, and he's luckily made it to that left box, and that flash will ring true. Great pop flash there from Lucas, and he'll pick up a double for his trouble. Lovely play from the solo B player there.
Yeah, that was looking like a really hairy situation for him there. That Molotov forced him out of position. Unfortunately, NRG didn't actually catch him transitioning out of there, and that pop flash was perfectly timed, and it allowed Zeus to actually support him quite well. So the rotation, the cavalry arrived in time, and they do rescue that round for Immortals. And NRG are back on those pistols. You can see their economy just has been rattled a little bit, and they're just spreading out across the map in this default position here. You can see Leisure just trying to get out. He does get out through that smoke, catches Zeus unawares, and we'll be able to claim that gun as well.
Certainly will. Bells will push into A-Man, and that's over-aggression at its finest there. Bolts will wheel backwards to try and get to his car position to fight, but Henny is already on the flank, picking up a double and moving Immortals along to 9. So there was some early pressure here from NRG. They did come out firing, getting those early rounds, but ever since that point, it's been one-way traffic here for Immortals.
And Henny didn't let go of the W key. He was just keen on getting those frags over and done with in that A main, and yeah, they were just picked apart, NRG. And now they're back on those AKs. They're back on the rifles, but no AWP in Peter's hands, so he'll need to make it work with that rifle of his. You can see Zeus here could gain himself a collateral frag if they step at the wrong moment, but he's just changed his angle, and this is not boding well for NRG as they make their way through. They need to isolate Zeus here in the checker room. The Molotovs are going to do a good job of cutting him off from the rotation. He does burn alive, and now we see Bob B taken down by Phelps on that flank. And this is an awkward position for NRG to be in now. Flash there, just being shot to pieces, and now it's back to 2 versus 2. So the trades are good from both teams' perspectives, given the situation they're in. But Tabson does take down Lucas, and now it's back to 2 versus 1. That bomb was already hightailed it all the way back towards the A bomb site. So great play coming from NRG, but Tabson on 9 HP could be caught out here.
Yeah, Bolt's lovely read on Tabson here, wins that duel, and now faces Peter in a 1 versus 1. Bomb will go down, and he will get spotted out. Lovely shot there from Bolts onto Peter. Gave him no option at all. Weird line by Peter, though. You'd think after knowing he was going, like his teammate went down in mid there, he had a good read, and he stepped to the left of those crates. So he did take his life into his own hands and paid the price, but a lovely shot by Bolts.
Did Peter just close the door on himself, though?
They didn't even get to the door.
He went through A via the door, didn't he?
He might have. I'm not sure. We had the action on Bolts during the time he was coming through. I'm not sure whether he went through the door or whether he came straight through A main.
Yeah, I think he went through the door and he may have actually closed it on himself. So unfortunately, that might not have worked out for him. But nonetheless, we will see the Dak come out, the elephant gun, and that is for me just a sign of confidence from Henny.
Absolutely is. He's got that auto sniper, and it's actually a sign to me that he hasn't been that with the AWP either. Usually AWPers that haven't... he gets a shot through the wall there from Leisure. Usually AWPers that haven't been hitting shots will go to that Dak later on in games to see if they can resurrect their scoped aim.
And that is the technical Australian term for that weapon as well, the Dak, if anyone's wondering.
Well, it's pretty obvious why.
Yeah.
It goes Dak.
We like to call things by their sounds.
Sounds of then in Australia. But look, NRG, if they pick up the last round, all hope is not lost. It's just that right now, increasingly unlikely, but Fell's unable to get that one to go. Bolts will be trapped in A here. Good Molotov. He'll force someone out of the door there, and he'll need a second frag here, Will Bolts, in order to hold on to this one. But his teammates have just melted the opposition, and Immortals go up 11-4 in this matchup. Danger time here for NRG.
It is danger time because there is a massive premium again placed on that pistol round. You can see the scoreline could very well get out of hand here, particularly if Immortals get off to a strong start. We've seen them very well prepared on their T side. Their team play has been a keynote of their performance, and I think that's going to continue onto their T side. So, look, NRG need to get themselves off to a good start, claw away at that deficit, and look, Gobby is a great in-game leader, but even he struggled against that Immortals side, and they struggled to get themselves entries into the site, particularly late in the round too. I think that's where Immortals team play really came into effect. You could see just the delay tactics once players were isolated in that site. For me, the A bomb site holds there were on point from an Immortals perspective, and even late round there, those B delay tactics with the flashes, the use of utility was enough to allow the rotation to come through from an Immortals perspective. So they've done a great job. Now they just need to round it out with the solid pistol and complete the battering of NRG.
Yeah, they're in a great position to do so. They're moving on to the T-side pistol, which I'm sure they have something pretty well organised in store for NRG. But at the same time, NRG do have those CT side USPs, which can be very, very deadly. Lots of close angles on cache where you can really get the shots off before your opponent really has a chance to fire back with that Glock. Yeah,
you can really silence your opposition with that weaponry. And I know we've touched on it briefly, but you're a fan of the new sounds.
I am. I'm a big fan of the new sounds. They've been optimized, I think, for TV, which I went through yesterday a little bit on the stream. But I just believe that the pistols, they sound a bit better, but more importantly, if you're watching it on a big stage environment or at home on a TV, projector, something of that nature, the new pistol sounds are optimized for that viewing experience. So whilst it's not maybe the best for some purists, I don't really think it makes that much difference. The sounds are different. They're not better or worse necessarily for some of them. But yeah, it's just a situation there where slowly but surely, it's a big commercialization of the game. There are some good things that come of it, most good things come of it, and there are some small changes that we have to incorporate along the way, and I think that's just one of them. But yeah, I don't think it's really affected the players too much compared to, let's say, the recall changes that they made in roughly the same time frame.
Yeah, look, I think that's a really glowing change that they did actually make, but yeah, I agree. If anything, though, it makes the games in some aspects sound more like a home renovation than anything else, particularly if you're sitting at home watching a Counter-Strike match on your massive sound system. So your neighbours will basically just feel as though you are watching one of those home improvement shows.
The only one I'm not a fan of is the P90. I don't think that sounds good.
You're a fan of that sound?
I love that sound. As something gets tased. I'm not a fan of the P90. It doesn't sound meaty enough for me. It's the only one. All those other SMGs, I'm fine with the clackety-clack for the rest of those SMGs. The P90 was always like, you know, bit of suppressive fire, bit of hardcore, foot to your jaw action, very fast-paced.
To be fair, though, it actually sounds like it does in the SG1 series, the Stargate SG1. So I think they've tried to emulate that and bring that into Counter-Strike.
It sounds like they've tried to emulate a sewing machine.
But you know me.
To be honest. Yeah. At least for that P90. I'm not sure what the delay is here, ladies and gentlemen, getting this one to go live into the second half. Just must be waiting for the players for some particular reason.
But for those people that are unaware, there's a reason why we call this cache. We're Australian. We're from Australia, and we're privileged to be bringing you guys the ESL Pro League matches for the North American season. So yeah, it's great to be bringing you these matches live from our humble little studio here in Brisbane, Australia.
Absolutely, and the next matchup we have in store is a fantastic one. It's Liquid versus Winterfox. Winterfox, a new signing here from Australia. So we've got plenty of experience in at least one half of that game, and the other half has been filled in by the recent major. So we have a very, very exciting match coming up, but for the meantime, it will be Immortals trying to finish this one off. Bolt's very, very quietly, mind you. He's on 21 kills for 5 deaths. So he's had an absolute cracker of a first half for Immortals, and he looks to continue that form into the second half, I'm sure. NRG on the CT side, of Of course, being represented by Peter, Leisure, Fugly, Godby, and Tabson. On the Immortals side, Zeus, Fells, Bolts, Henny, and Lucas. And that's a straight Molotov. That looks like, definitely looks like a counter-strategy style Molotov there into the short box. But it will be collapsing onto this A-bomb site, but that's gone both ways. 2 kills apiece, but now it will be a 2 versus 1 here for Fells to try and win this one for his team.
And the smoke goes up in the bomb site. It's going to allow him to at least use it for cover. He hasn't changed his position at all, so he's going to get up, or at least trying to outsmart his opponents. He was just content to actually sit in the smoke, so it is eventually hide-and-go-seek champion Godby. It does find him there, so the pistol round does go the way of NRG, but look, that was an interesting one. Things just exploded on that A bomb site. That Molotov pushed the CT player back from highway away back towards the A bomb site. They had a little bit of trouble getting out that door, Immortals, and it really was, to me, a miscommunication, funnily enough, because there was no one around to try and stop them getting out the doors from the CT side. They pressed the use button multiple times and they actually closed it on themselves twice.
Yeah, it was a bit awkward getting out of the door, but I wasn't a fan at all of that clutch position there from Fells. He had the A main plant down and he chose to swindle close in a smoke. A very, very silly decision there. He was never really going to have a shot at winning that because the 2 CTs rolling on opposite sides of the smoke were always going to get the information. As soon as he got one, he was going to be exposed with no cover. So whilst he survived for a little bit, it didn't serve him well. He was better off going A main and living to fight another day. And Phil picks up a gun here as M4A1S, and he's also on quite a substantial amount of health. So this one not going well for NRG at the start, nor has any of their anti-ecos really.
No, they've just been battered completely on these sort of anti-ecos, and this is where, look, you're going to struggle to win games if you can't...
Lucas there, transferring that aim, and this is a meltdown once again from NRG. They haven't even managed to kill. Not sure what's going on here. Leisure will chime in with one, but that'll be all they get. That was horrible from NRG.
And I'll finish my point. You are going to struggle to win games if you can't manage those anti-eco rounds, and that's exactly what NRG have had trouble doing. So, look, I know you're familiar with that same scenario, Pete, but look, it's a rough ride here for NRG.
Certainly is. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing on their anti-ecos either. They're certainly not grouped up, and they're certainly not sitting back. They're a weird mix of solo pushing and holding just generic spots. The M4A1 playing in mid, very easily retrievable. You know, all those little things that you have to think about when you're defending against those high-powered pistols in CS:GO. But they're not taken by NRG, and now Lucas will rip the head off Tabson and move Immortals closer to their 13th round.
It is a 5 versus 4 situation though, so they're making their way slowly. You can see they're just working things out here in mid, and they're grouping up, getting themselves ready for any potential trades that need to be made. You can see Phelps takes down Leisure with a swift spray, and now we do see them make their way and try and pincer this A-bomb site. It is indeed Phelps that is making his way up the highway there, so he's going to come into contact, potentially, with Fugly in the bomb site. It is Lucas that picks up the rotation. Fugly does a good job, holding strong here, gets the second frag as well. Looking at that third, he's able to find it, so great individual effort from him, but it's a 2 versus 1. They've got to go back and collect that bomb first, though, Immortals, before anywhere, and they're going to hit that B bomb site, so they're going to play it safe here.
Yeah, they will get towards B, and Bolt's in a fantastic position, already having got into tree at CT spawn. I do not think that Fugly will have any idea that he's there, but he may just elect to go for a save here, and no, it looks as though he's committed. No, he's decided. He's taken one look at that run towards B and tapped out.
Yeah, look, he's already made away with the bounty. He's gotten 3 frags. He's got an AK. More importantly, he's got an AK, and he's going to be saving it with armor as well. So there is a real incentive for him to try and hold on to this. Once that bomb went down, I think that sealed the deal. His decision had been made. He had to effectively ace to win them that round, and you could see now Immortals may just be trying to chase him. They're not really too committed to it, though, as you can see. It's only Bolts that is in pursuit, but even then, he hasn't really overextended himself past that truck. So NRG are surrendering rounds here. And 13-5 the score. Immortals just looking very, very comfortable.
Yeah, and the NRG money here is absolutely cooked. 1.9 on Godby and Tabson, so they're going to eco this one heavily. No armor purchased, only the remaining gun of Fugly with that armor as well in play for NRG. It's going to be very difficult for them to open this one up with a positive move, because they've got those pistols, and Immortals are in red hot form right now. Fugly's moved over to the B bomb site though, Jim, with that gun. So they're trying to funnel, well, they should be trying to funnel the players from Immortals back towards B, but that's easier said than done. Of course, as Zeus opens that door and begins to engage his enemies there at A. He spots one out, but it's more about Bolts and Fells there, picking up one apiece and putting the pressure on Fugly to save the game.
He's going to overwhelm this A-bomb site. Not a lot Gobby could have done there. He was out of position, and Phelps takes him down. You can see now the CTs are split between the two sides. From Leisure's perspective, he's just doing damage here with that Desert Eagle. Looking for another frag. He does get it there on Henny. So it is now back on him as he does make that third frag for the round with the Desert Eagle. But you can see the distance that Lucas had in terms of superiority of weaponry. And he made it work. So Leisure does pick up a triple frag effort with that Deagle, but it's not enough to win the round. And NRG find themselves 14-5 down. But they have a gun around here. They have that AWP in Peter's hands, and they have a real chance of clawing it back if they can first secure this round.
Most certainly, and it's going to have to be a lot of heavy lifting by Peter here as the boost comes away from NRG.
And they boosted over that smoke too, so that's how they actually managed to get the frag, or the tag, should I say, onto to Henny. So he goes down to 17, but they do surrender mid-control.
They do, and this will serve Immortals nicely as they warm to the task of getting their last two rounds and putting this one into the books. Just a slow split pick here from Immortals, nothing too fancy just yet. Waiting to group up before they make any serious moves. Leisure, after that AWP boost in mid, has been left there like a relic, just holding that one statically, as Peter has rotated with that AWP towards the B side of things, actually. Fugly here about to battle Zeus, and he gets a lot of damage off, but Fugly comes away with that one, so great start for NRG.
And they are going to make their way slowly towards this B-bomb site. You can see that the numbers are amassing outside the choke points there, so the bomb is slowly going to make its way across. You now see the CT rotation is no longer focused towards that A-bomb site. They are slowly inching their way towards the B-bomb site, and this is where it's coming to a flashpoint here. Peter hits that shot, hits the second shot onto Phelps through the wall, and now God B is just tasked with holding things, but he's done enough to repel, and Peter finishes what he started with that frag onto Henny. He did take him down earlier in the round and does get the second shot onto him. NRG holding strong, so there is life in them just yet, and more importantly, they have surviving members into the round, so they are able to cover their loss of a single entity in that round with that economy. Immortals, on the other hand, they're actually going to buy into this and force two of their members onto Tech 9, so they recognize there is a chance that they can actually try and break the economy somewhat and force NRG onto some very suboptimal weaponry if they do win this round and give themselves a real go at taking this one quite clean.
Well, they've proven time and time and again they can make it work with just pistols. So we shouldn't doubt them with those 3 AKs and pistols in hand as Fells picks up Fugly and actually puts a lot of pressure on the second player, Tabson, as well. He's copped a headshot and will burn down in the Molotov. So 2 kills within the space of a few seconds there for the players on the terrorist side at the moment. Immortals, now Leisure, Godby and Peter are pretty much retaking to save this match for their team. Lucas up against that fence, will spot out above the smoke, trying to find a kill, trying desperately to shut NRG out of his retake. It will be Leisure though, picking up Lucas. That's a great shot. He was on 100 HP. Kenny is in the side. He's low. That's another great shot from Leisure, and it will be a now 2 versus 1 after Bolts picks up the first kill, and he will spray down. Doesn't get it to go, but does enough to get the counterpart off the bomb. And Bolts will easily claim this one now. And it's a round for the ages for Immortals. Bolts just doing some insane work there late in the round. He's actually 27, 4, and 7 for the match. So great stats from him coming out. And he's doing his job to a T and have left NRG on a pretty ugly force buy here to save the match once again.
And he just disappeared into that smoke without a trace. Very Houdini-esque. And he was able to get them off the bomb in that instance. And he did a great deal of heavy lifting for his team so far in the first match. And he's continued that into the second match here. And now we see Phelps open things up into the round. And this doesn't bode well for NRG. They surrendered mid-control, but now Legia appears through the smoke himself and does take the frag there. You can see now, though, NRG are a little bit separated here. They need to group up, much like Immortals are in mid. And now Immortals are just looking to see whether or not anyone from NRG overextends themselves over peaks and gives them another frag.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem likely here. Immortals just playing this clock down, trying to isolate these shotguns and SMGs here. It will be Fugly fighting the good fight in just a moment. But God is going huge, but Zoo's able to reply onto God B. Fugly there with the flank, gets a double. And now Henny is in a 2 versus 1. This has swung the way of NRG. And that Molotov there goes a long way to shutting Henny off the bomb. 40 seconds remaining. And he's going to have to pull the rabbit out of the hat here is Henny in order to win this one. He's already aggressively gone down towards the middle connector to try and flank one of these CTs and force the other one into a gun battle. But right now, Henny is just picking around. He's going to have to speed up eventually, Jim. Just 15 seconds remain.
And he might be aware that Fugly is in that vent. He did hear Drake and Fugly. Takes him out anyway. There wasn't a lot of time that Henny had to work with. He was not sure where the CTs were. And NRG just clawing onto this one. You can see, though, they've actually hard reset Immortals. And not surprising to see Immortals actually buying into this. They're going to try and end this here and now. The money was hard reset, so it's a viable option.
It certainly is, and we shouldn't count them out. As I said, they made it work for them last round, and once again, they're going to move towards that B bomb site as a pack, as a unit. They're going to see what the B defense of NRG has in store for them. It is a boost into the vent, and there's only a Galil on Peter, which does concern me slightly. That's not going to work out for him. The recall not doing its job, and already Immortals have the first 2 kills of the round, and the Galil goes on to Bolt. Zoo's already in CT spawn. Henny picks up a kill. It's only a matter of time here, but Tabson able to trade onto Zoo's. So 2 versus 3 here. Henny, Lucas, and Bolt versus Fugly and Tabson. As the 2 CTs make their way in, but that's the shot from Lucas. It'll be all on Fugly, and he's trapped on the mid side of the vent. That is all that this game will have in store for us, ladies and gentlemen. It will not be a situation Fugly will be able to get himself out of right here unless the impossible happens. But oh my goodness, he's picked up to it. He's got the kid. He's racing towards the bomb. He's flicked around. He doesn't see Lucas. Lucas takes him down. That is the match. Immortals come away 2-0 victors in this series between themselves and NRG. Jim, heavy favoured side, did what they had to do. And that one doesn't require too much breaking down. I think everyone watching understood there was a gap, at least, for the moment, between NRG and Immortals. And Immortals did a great job just executing on the day and making sure of it.
Yeah, that's right. And, I mean, GOB teams are normally known for their rigid structure, their team play. And I guess Immortals have perfected that and really given them a lesson in all of those things. So NRG obviously really struggled against this Immortals lineup. They were outgunned, they were out-strategized, and basically, you saw the result. It was 2 very, very difficult maps from an NRG perspective, and look, it's been tough for them. But that being said, though, Immortals take maximum points out of this encounter, and they will continue their season quite well. Yeah,
and coming up next, we have a cracking piece of action. We've got Liquid versus the new Winter Fox roster. This is their first competitive match as the new team.
They played yesterday, actually.
I played yesterday. Well, the first competition, I should say, not the first match. First competition as a as a North American franchise, which is very, very exciting for us here in Australia, having 2 international teams now coming from just our small community down here in Australia. But guys, we'll go to a very, very quick break, and we'll be back with the Winter Fox Liquid Series in just a moment.
We'll be back with the Winter Wombats.